Big cap, Don Marino, heavy sombrero. He lack knowledge, I bet he a scarecrow. Something deadly a Edo. If it ring, get low, rider, and he go
But we was never friends. Show up to Harlem looking for your crib. You better let me in. Masked up, gloves on. I work in medicine. Show up to deluxe apartment in disguise like the Jeffersons.
So you got to get shot with the cannon. I gotta do you, send a shot into you. This is Black Love, Brown Pride. Shaka Zulu meets Montezuma. It wouldn't be.
Hello. Welcome back to the Speaker Language Show. And for today's episode, in the honor of 50 years of hip hop, we will be doing the top 10 battles of the last decade from 2019, or from 2010 to 2019. And then we are going to take my favorite albums of the last decade from 2010 to 2019 and compare each of them. As you guys may know, a part of being a huge battle rap fan, a lot of us love hip hop as well too. And just to do something as an in-between work and just to kind of just, pay homage to the art form that has given us so much great music, just great stuff in general the past 5 decades. I just wanted to do something in honor of that. So without further ado, we're going to hop into 2010. My favorite album / mixtape that should give you a little bit of a hint of 2010 is none other than Friday Night Lights. From like the come up to 07 all the way up until now, still one of my favorite artists and my top 3 all-time rappers. Favorite, obviously, because hip hop is subjective. For me, Friday Night Lights is just one of the best mixtapes I ever heard. Mixtape that just really resonated with me being an athlete, and just how he raps just resonated with me. And Friday Night Lights is, in my opinion, his best mixtape. I know people talk about the warm up. I know people talk about other projects and stuff like that. But Friday Night Lights is not only his best mixtape, but it's in my top, damn near my favorite project of his in terms of his overall catalog. Love tracks like Too Deep for the Intro, Before I'm Gone, Back to the Topic, Vilmatic, Autograph, Premeditated Murder, Looking for Trouble, which was a bonus track. He had so many great tracks on there, great rapping, Tremendous Hunger. That was before he made it. Just love that mixtape of his. And I'm going to compare that to my favorite battle of 2010, which is none other than Arsenal versus Hitman. It kind of fits. If we're being real, we know Hitman is an athlete, and we know that he ball game, right? So when it comes to Friday Night Lights and how that resonates or connects with Hitman in that particular battle, we just know that that was his coming out party. That was his welcome to the show. Everybody knows that when he battled Arsenal, that's when he made that leap from a rising talent to a superstar. And I feel like he, even though, it takes 2 to make a battle, I just think that he was a standout talent in that battle. And as a Midwest representative, that battle just stands out to me. It warms my heart every time I watch it. But really, really entertaining battle. And honestly, I'm still entertained by Arsenal in that battle too, even though I feel like Hitman won that battle clearly. But both of them brought something to the battle for me to enjoy it. Really love that battle. One of my favorite battles of 2010. Now we're going into 2011. My favorite hip hop album of 2011. There's going to be a theme here, right? Because there's an age gap, right? So notice that we're talking about 2010 to 2019. I know there's plenty other great albums that happened prior to that decade, but I really wanted to hone in on this decade just so I can make it a little bit more digestible for the audience. And you're going to see a lot of projects that are just resonate with me and resonate with my demographic. So let's just keep it at that. So 2011, I have none other than Section 80 by Kendrick Lamar. Again, another amazing project. Some of my favorite tracks, I think of Cushion Corinthians. I think of Rigor Mortis, which is a overly used concept and word used in battle rap, but that's another story. What other tracks? I love Absol's outro. High Power, which was also produced by J. Cole, ironically enough. What other tracks? It was a really, really great mixtape of his, and it kind of shows you the trajectory where he was headed by the time 2015 2017 would emerge. So really love that project. And my favorite battle, and one of the most important battles to me, one because it's the first, it was one of the first battles that I've seen growing up as a battle rap fan, and it's just like what hooked me to battle rap, and that's DNA and Disaster. There's not much I can say, and then the stuff I would say wouldn't do the battle justice. Like, you just have to watch it. I just think that DNA and Disaster is one of the battles that you could give to somebody, like somebody that's never watched battle rap, and they would appreciate it just because of the hunger, the backstory, Drake being there. So there's a heightened sense of, I guess, pressure, if you will. And on top of that, the freestyling. They just encapsulated the whole essence of hip hop as a whole in that battle. And I love it. I can watch it today. I know people say that like some battles don't age well, and yeah, there are elements that don't age well, right? Like DNA has certain like segments where he's trying to freestyle but can't come up with the wording. Same thing with Disaster, whatever. But nonetheless, the moments that happened in that battle were just undeniable. Like mid round rebuttals, Disaster's first round, DNA's first round, and then Disaster's Prince of Persia rebuttal, and then DNA's third round. Like, it's just an amazing battle, and I don't think that battle will ever move out of my personal top 5 all time, just because what it means to me, becoming a battle rap fan, and just because of what it means to the culture. So that's what I have for 2011. Now we're shifting over to 2012. Another person a part of the TDE camp. My favorite album for 2012 is none other than Control System by Ab Soul. You're talking about a politically charged, conscious album, tremendous lyricism. This is not my favorite Ab Soul album. I do like Do What Thou Wilt a little bit more than this, but it's still a great album, and it was my favorite for the year of 2012. What is there to say? Mixed Emotions was great. The opening track was great. Oh man, there's just so many great tracks on there. Book of Soul, amazing, introspective, one of the best, one of the most heartfelt songs I ever heard in hip hop, honestly. Love this album. Gets a lot of spins for me even today. So love that album, and I compare that to another battle that's just like will never move outside of my top 5. You're talking about Chilla Jones versus JC. Again, I can't really describe the battle because I wouldn't do it justice. Just an amazing battle, man. I just think that anybody that's a battle rap fan has seen or should see this. This is like the Chilla Jones and JC is the equivalent of Illmatic, or the equivalent of Tupac's Me Against the World, or the equivalent of Wu-Tang's Into the 36 Chambers, the equivalent of Paid in Full by Rakim. Like, it's just ingrained in battle rap. I don't see how anybody could say they're a battle rap fan and have not seen this battle. That's all I can really say about Chilla Jones versus JC. One of my favorite, and will always be in my top 5. So we're going into 2013. This was actually hard for me because there was like a few albums that I really enjoyed in 2013. This is when I was in like what, 7? Well, no, I was in 8th grade going into like high school. I might have been in high school at the moment. I was in high school at the moment when this album released. But Nothing Was the Same by Drake. This is one of my favorite Drake albums. I think he had his best rapping on here, best production, standout tracks, Tuscan Leather with all those beat flips, Too Much with Sample on the hook. Like, I don't know. It's to me, this is like his standout album. I know people talk about Take Care. I know people talk about like So Far Gone because that's the one that like put him on or whatever. There's even people talk about Comeback Season in terms of like his lyricism. But for me, I think he just had a great mix of like rapping and artistry on Nothing Was the Same. Great project. And my favorite battle of 2013, ironically enough, because you know Drake is the certified lover boy, and I have a ladies battle on here. I'm going with Misfit versus Miss Hustle. Extremely entertaining. Now, objectively, you could probably pick other battles that are a little bit more important, like Big K versus Illmac and stuff like that. But in terms of my personal enjoyment, which I still enjoy Big K versus Illmac, but for me, a battle that I rewatch a lot is Misfit versus Miss Hustle. Misfit, first off, the style clash is just incredible, right? You have Misfit with like her joking approach, right, which is really hard to pull off, especially as time progresses. Like a lot of fans want that bar for bar approach, right? So having those jokes can be hit or miss for people, but she pulled it off like just so seamlessly, and she just like so poised. No matter who she goes up against, the authenticity is at an all-time high. And then you have Miss Hustle, one of the first ladies of battle rap. Extremely aggressive, you know what I'm saying, just towering over her opponent. And all I can say about Miss Hustle is like she's easily one of the most consistent battlers amongst the lady, amongst any battler in general. Really love this battle, a Clash of the Titans battle, a Queen of the Ring classic. I talked a little bit more about this on my top 25 Queen of the Ring battles of all time, so check out that video when you get a chance. But yeah, that is my favorite battle for 2013. Just a really great battle for both of them. Probably one of their best performances in both of their catalogs, in my opinion. So that's what I have at 2013. 2014. One used to be my favorite artist. He kind of fell off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He went through a little bit of a dry spell for a few years, but he actually released something that kind of got him back on track. I am talking about Logic, and the album that I loved from 2014 was Under Pressure. Logic had a huge underground buzz coming up. I want to say 2010 to like 2013. He had his Young Sinatra tapes. He had like a Young Broken Infamous tape that came out like 2010 or whatever, but Under Pressure, for anybody that's been like following a rapper in their mixtape days, and then they released that debut album and it was actually good, knows the satisfaction of that. Yeah, Under Pressure is one of my favorite projects of the decade, and the best project to me. Like, I know people are gonna say like, what about Forest Hills Drive? J. Cole's your favorite artist, yada yada yada. It was a great album, but for me, Under Pressure was just better. Loved Soul Food, loved Gang Related. He had so many like just great introspective tracks on there, great production. Buried Alive is just beautiful. Just a great album from Logic. I don't think he's ever topped the album, and that's the curse of having like one of your best works early on in your career, because the bar gets set, and sometimes like even if you don't reach that bar, people just feel like everything else is just a disappointment. But really love that album. Great album. 2014 battle of the year, and my favorite battle of the year, which I mean I can't say it's a no-brainer because 2014 was a great year. You can name a plethora of battles that were great that year, but personally for me, my favorite battle of 2014 was none other than Hollow Da Don versus Loaded Lux. I just think about, again, a Clash of the Titans. I use this battle for my Elements of a Classic, because I feel like this battle just epitomizes a classic from the standpoint of stakes, from the standpoint of legacy, from the standpoint of just, you know, shifting the culture, impact, like all the elements you could think of in terms of a classic, replay value. It has all of them. And Hollow's first round, or both of their first rounds, were crazy. I think that in most classics you get a situation where like both of them are like hitting on all cylinders out the gate, and then there's that battle in between, like who takes the second, who takes the third. And that was one of those situations where I just felt like, damn, like both of these guys came to play early. Loaded Lux with his you know, Black Power attire, and then Hollow Don with his I'm Not Excited, you know what I'm saying, mood that he was in, you know what I'm saying, which was fresh off of the surf battle, which was debatable in that time period, so he felt like he had something to prove. You know, Lux coming back after his Calico performance, which he set the bar high, and in my opinion, my personal opinion, kind of like the Hollow performance more than his Calico performance, just saying. But classic battle. Both guys delivered. I still go back and forth with who I have winning. Sometimes I have Lux, sometimes I have Hollow. Really boils down to who you give the third to. You know, felt like the first two to me are also kind of close, but in my personal opinion, like I have Lux taking the first and him taking the third, and then the second I gave to Hollow clearly, and I feel like the second is the only clear round of the battle. I feel like the first is debatable and the third is debatable. The second, I feel like Hollow took that clearly. But love that battle. One of the best battles of the decade, which probably get a mention for the video that I'll make next year for top 50 battles of the decade. So look out for that. 2015. This was a year where there was a lot of good battles too, or excuse me, a lot of good albums too, rap albums. But I feel like this album was just generational. Another Kendrick Lamar appearance, and I know this album is very controversial. It's acquired taste and all that. And if you ask Swervo, this is probably the worst album of all time because he's just not a Kendrick fan. But the best album, my favorite album of 2015, is none other than To Pimp a Butterfly. Conceptually, lyrically, just how dense the subject matter is, and just all the topics that were touched on. And with me being a Black Studies, going on to be a Black Studies major, really interested in Black history, diversity and inclusion and all that stuff. This album just meant a lot to me. It still does. I mean, like it just means so much. Standout tracks I can name. All Right. I can name You. I can name You Ain't Gotta Lie. I can name I can name Mortal Man, excuse me. I can name Wesley's Theory, King Kunta. I can name the whole album because it's just like so like dense in terms of subject matter, in terms of lyricism, in terms of double meanings, in terms of just, you know, just having to listen to it over and over and over again to catch the nuances of every concept, the nuances of every song. Really, really great album. I think that album defines the 2010s, the last decade of hip hop, in my personal opinion. And my favorite battle of 2015, this is going to shock some people because I feel like it doesn't get enough props. And I know I talked more about another battle pertaining to Danny Myers, but if I'm being quite honest, there's another battle I'll watch more than Danny Myers versus Chilla, and it was Danny Myers versus Danger Zone. I love this battle. You're talking about a crazy bar fest. You're talking about like just high level lyricism from both competitors. Was a part of the Traffic series, which at one point in time, the Traffic series was low key delivering like every time, you know what I'm saying? Really love this battle, man. It was a great way to, and on top of that, both of them were having amazing years. I mentioned this in the Danny Myers interview, that Danny Myers was having a great year. He battling Chilla, battling Rex, battling all those guys, and the Danger Zone was having an all-time high year with his win over Lada Zay, beating B Magic in the fashion that he did. Just incredible year, and I think they just met to have a really great bar fest. Classic battle in my humble opinion. That's what I have at 2015. (2016), another album that just, I also think that it defines the 2010s in terms of hip hop. I'm going with No Name's Telephone. And I'm happy because she's releasing the album soon. I can't wait for Sundial. But Telephone was when I became like officially stamped myself as a No Name fan. Like she was doing features on like Chance the Rapper's projects and stuff like that on Acid Rap. She had a couple features on Saba's projects and stuff like that or whatever. But this album was just incredible and then mind you, and then for me, I never really like went into full detail about this, but in college and in high school, like I want to say around my sophomore, junior year, I was huge. I was very, very huge on poetry and stuff like that. I used to write poems, and when I got to college, that's kind of what I specialized in, creative writing. I did screenplays, poems, short stories, and stuff like that, and just her literally taking like that format, even though we know rap is short for rhythm and poetry, but like her literally taking that spoken word format and literally like honing it into something, into like a musical format, was just incredible to me. Like there's certain things that you can do in poetry that you can't do in rap, and then vice versa, right? But for some reason she's able to mesh like those ideals and those beautiful elements of poetry into the rap genre beautifully. And I love this album. Like I love both of her albums. Like Room 25 is great too, but I had to pick this one just for 2016. Standout tracks, Casket Pretty, Yesterday, Shadow Man. Like she has a low-key, her whole album is just incredible. Reality Check, like she has a lot of great introspective tracks, and I use that word a lot because it's nothing better than to like tell a story about yourself and like really do an assessment of like what makes you you and stuff like that. That just connects with me. But incredible album, love that album. That's what I have for 2016 for my favorite album. Favorite battle, right? You go for something that's slightly pretty to something else a little bit rugged, but rugged in a beautiful way, if that makes sense. We're talking about Av versus Rum Nitty, a punch fest, kind of similar to Danger Zone and Danny Myers. Like just bar for bar wise, there's not that many battles you're gonna find that's just better than this. Av and Rum Nitty just reset the game for battle rap in general. Like the punch count increased. Everybody was looking for that next like bar for bar type battle, and they just changed the standard of what we consider great material or great punches and stuff like that. So many quotables, right? Nicholson through the door, here's Johnny. 30 under the 40, that's an improper fraction. Alfalfa, so many quotables, man. I can name like 20 more. But just incredible battle. Career defining for both of them too. Because you got to think, Av was going through the ranks, through the PGs, right, and all that. Like 2015, he was kicking up. You know what I'm saying? He had None. He had Mike P doing his thing or whatever. Nitty was trying to like earn his respect because he was already putting in work. Him and Danny happened in 2013, right? He battles B Magic and Arsenal in 2014. 2015 has a great battle with Steams. Has a great battle with Chess on the Traffic card, the same card as Danny Meyer and Danger Zone. And you know what I'm saying, he was just putting in work just in general. And you know, him finally getting to the East Coast and battling Av was just a great moment for him, and Av doing what he was supposed to do in that situation, because a lot of people just felt like even Av mentioned that he felt like he was just a sacrificial lamb in that regard with Nitty making his first East Coast appearance on URL or whatever. But he hung in there, and that's what champions do, and that's what you know, fighters do. You know what I'm saying? One of the best battles of all time. Love this battle. Yeah, I still rewatch it. One of the best Born Legacy battle of all time, hands down. So that's what I have for 2016. $2017, right? My favorite album for 2017. You got Big Crit, King Remembered in Time. Forever is a mighty long time. To This album, right? How many great To This albums do we get nowadays? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people be flooding their albums with 20 tracks, 30 tracks and all that, and most of it be filler. But this is one of the few times I can say that in this generation of rap, like the 2010s, the album is just great from front to back. Layup is one of my favorite tracks. Big Bank with the T.I. feature. Confetti, Ox Chord, like he has so many great songs. Mixed Messages or whatever. He just has so many. And then I'm saying like, what the beauty of the album was that like he gave you Big Crit on the first disc, and then he gives you himself on the second disc. And it's just like, damn, like I love that album from a conceptual standpoint. I love it from just a stylistic standpoint, from how different like disc 1 is from disc 2. Just a great project. That's what I have for 2017. And then the battle I have for 2017, which is a no-brainer, another Rum Nitty appearance, Rum Nitty versus Iron Solomon. Every time I think of this battle, I just think of like how sometimes it's just okay to let things play out. Because one, I remember I was skeptical of the event in general. And let me give you guys a little backstory. 2017, that was when that was like my freshman year of college. That was when like 2016, 2017, that was when like I was consistently buying pay-per-views. Like back in the day prior to like 2016, 2017, like I would like wait for battles to just drop on YouTube. I would try to catch streams here and there or whatever. But for the most part, I wasn't really buying pay-per-views like that. But 2017, 2016, I was buying pay-per-views and all that. So in college, I bought SM, I bought Traffic and all that. I bought like the first Born Legacy Supreme and all that. But I was contemplating if I was gonna buy the first Smack volume, just because I didn't know what the direction of it was going to be. Like they were saying like, oh, it's going to be a small room, taking it back to the S's, there won't be no crowd reaction, no crowds and stuff like that. I'm just like, I don't know, are we getting another Queens Flip quiet room type situation? And that's no diss to Queens Flip, but like just some of those battles just didn't resonate well, or just didn't capture the battle rap feeling that I'm used to. So I was very skeptical of like buying that pay-per-view. And lo and behold, I buy it because I'm a battle rap fan. I buy it and I see JC versus Twerk, great battle. I see Suge versus Mike P, very entertained. A few battles in between I wasn't really that entertained with, so I was like, But we get to Rum Nitty and Iron Solomon. I'm like, oh yeah, like this battle was just incredible. And I knew that Iron Solomon was capable of like competing, right? Because he battled B Magic in 2016, which was a dope battle. He battled Daylight on one of his returns in 2015. Battled Charlie Clips. Battled Ilmac before he seen Nitty and stuff like that. So it wasn't a matter of if he can compete. I just didn't know with just how stark of a contrast that there were between the two, if the battle would be good. And lo and behold, it was amazing. One of the best battles. If some of you guys' favorite battles of all time, and I can't even blame you. (2018) my favorite album for 2018 is none other than Care For Me by Saba. Another Midwest artist, you know what I'm saying? And he delivered a great album. Again, the word here is introspective. Love this album. A lot of great storytelling, a lot of great lyricism, very moody project, but at the same time, like it just fits the atmosphere. It just fits the atmosphere of where he was trying to go. Standout tracks: I love Calligraphy, love Life, love Prom King, Heaven's All Around Me is just a beautiful song. Just great album, and to me still Saba's best album. Love that project. That's 2018, and the battle of 2018 for me that came towards the end of 2018. one of the grittiest battles I think you'll find in the last decade is Ill Will versus Calico. In my opinion, the best RBE battle of all time. I don't think there has been or will be a battle that I won't say will ever will be. We don't know, because we have an amazing card coming up very soon with Max Out 3. But it just captured everything I love about battle rap: the intensity, the hunger, the great rapping, I don't know. I just love that battle. It's just entertaining from beginning to end. Ill Will versus Calico is just something beautiful, man. Like Ill Will's first round was crazy. Calico's first round was crazy. The mid altercation in between, but they were able to like keep their composure and finish the battle, whatever. The setting was just incredible, and it gave me that old school feel of like being just like battling anywhere, and then just having like your entourage behind you, or whatever. You got battlers in the background reacting to some of the bars of Ill Will and Calico and stuff like that. Pontiac versus Detroit, so like an interstate type of battle. Just I love this battle, man. It was an incredible battle. I think I had it in my top 5 Midwest versus Midwest battles, for sure. So check that out. Me and Motown Maven did a video about that. But it's easily the best RBE battle of all time. It was one of my favorite lines. I should know be slicing in a Kobe fashion. Doc came out saying it's 3rd and 20. You know he passing. Like, oh my god. I don't like Calico with his slick street talk, whatever. Great rapping, great cadences and flow and stuff like that. A great style clash. Yeah, the best RBE battle of all time, in my opinion. That was 2018. And the last year to close out the 2010s, right? The formative years of my battle rap experience as a fan. My favorite hip hop album of 2019 is none other than Rhapsody's Eve. Eve is an incredible album, conceptually, lyrically, and how she was able to intertwine so many like themes all in that album, from women empowerment to just the politically charged side of things and stuff like that. This is a beautiful album. And then Rhapsody, and I foreseen her releasing something like this, because Layla's Wisdom before that was amazing too. I love Layla's Wisdom. That came out 2017. 2 years later, she releases another masterpiece, and I feel like Eve is just incredible. Standout tracks: Sojourner, Aaliyah, Cleo, and the theme here is all of them are named after prominent Black women in the culture. Love the album. I just think that there's Sojourner is also, and Cole was on that obviously, so I love that track. But just a great album, both lyrically, conceptually. She always could rap. Like the rap is in her name, but I'm saying like she always was inclined lyrically. It was just finding that extra mode to push her over the top, and I feel like just her having something to rap about, and just her like touching on just really, really potent topics in the fashion that she did, just made this a masterpiece. So that's what I have for 2019. And my favorite battle for 2019 is none other than Sue Surf versus Geechee Gotti. I don't like, it's very hard to find a battle better than that one in 2019. I mean, you can argue a couple. You can argue like maybe Geechee Gotti versus Chess. You can argue, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I could argue Rum Nitty versus Chilla Jones on Volume 5, but nah, I just hard to. Sue Surf versus Geechee Gotti is one of the best known battles of all time. I mean, I know I'm throwing the all time, but I got the facts to prove it. You know what I'm saying? I can't name that many battles better than Sue Surf versus Geechee Gotti on Known. And mind you, right? I'm saying this is the best. I'm saying this is the best, one of the best known battles of all time, when I already declared that Gnome 9 is the best gnome of all time. So just put that in perspective, right? So they weren't just like, it wasn't just like one battle that just outshined the rest of the card. The rest of the card was fire. You had a lot of entertaining stuff, from Pat Stay, RP Pat Stay, Pat Stay against Shotgun Sugar, Jack Boy main situation against John. K-Shine versus Nitty literally happened before this battle, and they somehow found a way to keep the crowd entertained with what happened prior to that, right? And then and my thing is, it's like they had Lux and Verb after them. Like, you could argue that like K-Shine and Nitty and Sue Surf and Geechee are the two battles that drain the energy from the room before we even can get to A-Verb and Lux. I still feel like A-Verb and Lux is a much better battle than people think. Maybe it needs to be in a different environment or whatever, like a volume or something like that. But yeah, that Sue Surf and Geechee is like incredible. Like one of the instant classics. And I know people are like very, very like, some people are very, very hesitant like giving someone something the classic label out the gate. But like when we watch that battle, there's certain battles that you can watch immediately and know it's a classic and feel like it's a classic right then and there. Like midway through the battle, like by the time Surf ended his second round, that scheme, like I spilled coffee on the shirt, like he running late. By the time we got to that, I'm like, oh, this is damn near a classic. All they have to do is not choke, be on the same type of trajectory they were on from the first round, and we got one. And sure enough, we have one. Love this battle. In my opinion, I already went on record saying that this was a career-defining win for Surf, especially in that time period, right? The whole dialogue about him not coming prepared for battles, him being Mr. Debatable and stuff like this, and then he delivers an incredible battle. And quite honestly, this is a huge performance from Geechee Gotti, because you got to think that around this time he was defending champion. A lot of people felt like he lost to Arsenal, right? And on top of that, he wasn't just like any other battler just sitting out waiting until he gets a Surf battle and battling him. He was battling in between. Like he was battling Arsenal, he was battling plenty of other folks before he even got to Surf, and he battled plenty of other folks after Surf. He battled Tay-Rock after Surf. He battled I want to say he battled, I don't know if he battled Ill Will before or after Surf. I gotta look into that. But I know he battled Ill Will, right? He battled Big K. He battled Old Red. Like this man was on a tear, which is why we have a Geechee Gotti video coming up soon. So that's my little plug right there. But yeah, like this was just an incredible clash, like just a crash course amongst the two. I don't even feel like Daylight Rock is better than Surf and Geechee. I can't name a better battle on the Gnome series that's happened since Sue Surf and Geechee. I just can't. I'm sorry. Like Daylight and Rock is close. Geechee and Nitty is close in terms of the impact of the battle and like it being the tournament, but I can't definitively say those battles are better than Geechee and Surf, and that just holds a lot of weight. But I had a lot of fun doing this, man. I had a lot of fun talking a little bit about hip hop, hopping outside of like, you know, some of the general things that I do on my channel, talking about just my favorite albums and stuff like that, and comparing them to some of my favorite battles. Like I said, this is linking towards even bigger project that I got coming out in 2024. I'm excited, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a really, really big deal. You guys know I have to do a lot of due diligence and put a lot of work into talking about this stuff. With me priding myself in being like somewhat of a historian. I'm no Minnesota Luke or anything like that, but me priding myself in being somewhat of a historian. I'm going to do my due diligence to make sure that all bases are covered when I'm making these lists and making these videos and stuff like that. And this was just some in-between work that I wanted to do, just hold you guys over. Got plenty of stuff coming out. Still got to do Geechee Gotti's run, which I'm deciphering what year I'm going to do. I'm probably going to do 2019 just because I spent so much time talking about that. And then I got to finish Iron Solomon's return from battle rap, from when he returned in 2015 up until his last battle against Old Red in 2018. Incredible run. I got a few other videos coming out. I still got to work on the battle rap tactics that'll be coming out soon. This time it will be round placement. So I got a lot of stuff in the works. And if you guys haven't know, I posted it on Twitter. Your boy graduated with his master's, you know what I'm saying? So that just evens the workload for me, you know what I'm saying? So now I can focus more on the videos and the scripts that I'm doing in terms of making these videos and stuff like that. So you guys will be getting a lot more content from me on a consistent basis. Still have the Rappers Pentagon stuff working out and stuff like that. I got 2 more contestants that'll surprise you guys. But if you guys have been following the theme, you guys should have somewhat of an understanding of who should be coming up next. I appreciate you guys. Enjoy your day. Thank you.